There's one thing the Irish are good at: lamentation. You know, the friends of mine who are Jewish think they have the corner of the market on that. They have no idea whatsoever of Irish lamentation. And what part of it is the keening at Irish ways and the order. The keening and the wailing and the carrying on. And then, of course, along with this was the influence of the church, Mother Church. They get you early. They get you practically before you've left the womb. And then you're born. And because of what Adam and Eve did, now what I'm saying is, I think is theologically correct. I don't know if there are many Catholic priests or theologians in this audience, I doubt it. They're not generally known for flocking to Princeton. Because of what Adam and Eve did, you have to be baptized when you're a little baby into the Catholic Church. We were told that outside of the church there is no redemption. That if you're not a Catholic and you die, you go to hell. Can you imagine telling this to little 5-year-olds or 6-year-olds, and you're looking around the city of Limerick, which is not infested with Protestants, but you see one occasionally, and you feel sorry for them. I used to see Protestant girls go to church on a Sunday morning, and I wanted to rescue them. I wanted to come with me, come to the Catholic Church, and I'll save them. So this is what we were told. Outside of the church, there's no redemption. And so you're baptized. And this baptism washes away original sin, which is what Adam and Eve caused by their antics in heaven, paradise, whatever you want to call it, the Garden of Eden. They did the bad thing. You know what the bad thing was. It had nothing to do with an apple. And it certainly had a lot to do with the symbol of the snake. So I had a lot to do with that. And because of them, we're all born with original sin. And it's on your soul. We envision the soul as being located in here geographically. It's in here somewhere. And it looks like a great white frisbee. This is how I saw it. And so it's sort of, it accommodates, the chest accommodates it. And then I thought, every time you commit a sin, or you're born with original sin, then you have to get rid of that original sin, because it's like a big pussy abscess, and it's dripping on this red and yellow stuff is dripping down. But the minute you're baptized, that disappears, and your soul is clean, and you're in what the Catholics call a state of grace. Now you're clean, baby, and if you die, you go to heaven. So, and this is another thing. They covered every angle. The Catholic Church is so brilliant in covering all the angles. You're born in a state of original sin, and the only recourse you have is getting baptism. All right, you're already in. The fix is in already, so you have to be baptized. And then, if you don't get baptism, you have the sin in your soul. If you die, you go to hell. Hell? No. Wait a minute. Limbo. Limbo is where all the unbaptized babies go. And now in the Vatican, they're talking about abolishing limbo. And what I want to know is, where would all the babies go? Millions of babies who died in a state of original sin. But and I think that abolished purgatory. Purgatory is the place you go if you die in a state of venial sin, which is little sin, a little white line. There's a hierarchy of sins, and there's a hierarchy of destinations. There's the hierarchy of destinations is heaven. Heaven is up there somewhere for some geographically, and there's purgatory. Heaven is where you're going if you die in a state of grace, and the frisbee is clean. Purgatory is where you go if you die in a state of venial sin, the little white line, like the train was late or it had a flat tire or something. And you'd be committing adultery right and left. But that's a serious thing. So then the other one is limbo, as I just explained, for unbaptized babies. And then there's hell. This is where the Irish priests were brilliant when they get these sermons. If you read James Joyce's Portrait of the Artist as a young man, there's a description of hell by a priest. giving a sermon during a retreat, and it's awesome. It's fantastic, and because I notice also that these priests, when talking about heaven and hell, were pretty weak on heaven. The reward for leading a good, virtuous life is that you stand before the throne of God for eternity, gazing on His divine countenance in awe, wonder, and reverence. And I thought, Jesus, this is pretty boring. There was something called, in the hierarchy of sins, called the sacrilege. No, even above that was something called, and this is particularly Irish, the unforgivable sin. And if you ask, what's the unforgivable sin? Nobody knows. But when you do it, you'll know. And if you commit the unforgivable sin, you have to go all the way to Rome to be forgiven by the Pope. This is the kind of urban folklore, I think it was. Then just below that, and this is a theologically approved sin, the sacrilege. Like if you punch a nun in the hip, that's a sacrilege. Or if you hit a priest on the altar, that kind of desecrate the church. And then that's the sin. Then below that is the mortal sin. This is the big boy. If you die with a sacrilege on your soul, you go to hell. If you die with a mortal sin in your soul, you go to hell. And you know what the mortal sins are? The 7 deadly sins: pride, covetousness, lust, anger, gluttony, envy, and sloth. And here again, I got into trouble with the schoolmaster. So, because we were being grilled all the time in this catechism. I wanted to get in. You know, I was sucking up to the teacher, and I wanted to get in good with him. So I know the best deadly sin. Oh, you do? So what's the best deadly sin? It's the sloth, sir. Because the sloth is the laziness. And the laziness means you're doing nothing. And if you're doing nothing, you can't be committing the other deadly sin.